Good morning and welcome to Webinar Tuesday. My name is Mary Jo Williams. I'm the Network Training Coordinator for the Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, and I will be your facilitator and moderator for today's session, which is the VI SBDC Webinar Tuesday with SBA. And the topic is SBA Resources to help your business start, grow, and succeed. Today's session is being recorded and will be posted on our Facebook page and uploaded to our YouTube channel, which can be found at VI SBDC. For today's session, please put your questions in the chat and they will be answered at the presentation. Also, Mr. Wayne Huddleston is our presenter for today, and he will, he's had several years as the SBA Senior Area Manager in the Virgin Islands, and he has previous experience as an SBDC Director, and he also is a veteran of the U.S. military. And without any further delay, I will turn the presentation over to you, Mr. Huddleston.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Mary Jo. Again, my name is Wayne Huddleston. I'm the Senior Area Manager for SBA here in the Virgin Islands. Those of you who are on these presentations in the past know that every Tuesday, SBDC is kind enough to host our forum for SBA, where we provide some of the latest information on SBA programs and resources, and then leave plenty of time to answer any questions you have regarding anything SBA. The past few presentations, we've been focusing on some very important programs that have been of importance to a lot of people here: the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, and some other things. Today, we're going to take a little bit different approach. We're just going to provide a general overview of SBA programs. We're not going to get really deep into any of them during the presentation. In fact, we're not even going to hit them all because there's a lot to cover. But I want to give you just a general overview so that people have a sense of SBA's role here in the community, what we do, what resources we offer, but then again, leave plenty of time to answer any questions you have. And of course, if you want to ask questions on PPP, EIDL, or contracting, or really anything we do, I'll stay on to answer questions until there are no more. So without further ado, I'll get started with the presentation today. Primarily going to talk about the 4 areas where we have a lot of our programs, which are to help businesses start, grow, expand, and recover after disasters. We'd like to have our resources cover every aspect of starting a business, from I just have an idea and I'm just now thinking about it, to all the way to I've had it for a number of years, I've grown it, now I'm trying to sell it and get out. We want to provide services and resources to help throughout every stage, because starting a business is not an easy task. It can be somewhat lonely sometimes for people, can certainly be very challenging, and we want to make sure we provide you all the tools that we can to help you be successful along the way. So as I said, I'm going to talk about these 4 different areas, and I'm going to start with technical assistance. Here at SBA, we are a federal agency. The large majority of our workforce works out of DC. We are not, while we do have a lot of entrepreneurs on our staff, we are essentially government workers. And so we are not the primary resource to provide technical support for people. We try to leverage the good expertise out there in the community and provide the programs and funding to help people be trained and provide that technical support to you on a regular basis. So we do have a number of different providers that I'll share with you. The first is the Small Business Development Center, which is who is hosting our event today and is active here in the Virgin Islands. The Small Business Development Center is paid staff members that receive a great deal of training and support to provide technical support to business owners. They operate very similar to that of a consultant, where you can set an appointment with them, meet with them one-on-one, get in-depth assistance on your particular business, whether that be building a business plan or seeking financing or expanding your business in some way. They are there to help give you that support, and it is free of charge. They also offer many workshops and other technical services that they can help you along the way. Here in the Virgin Islands, the SBDC has 2 locations. They have the one on St. John or St. Thomas, which also serves St. John, recently moved nearby the airport. There's also one in St. Croix, Mid-Island, across from the Costules. They have in-person advisors, and then of course you can always contact them by phone or online. You can do virtual appointments as well. Of course, we're still dealing with COVID. I expect we'll be dealing with that less and less, and you can do more in-person assistance, but you can do virtual assistance too. They are the only technical support provider that is physically located here in the Virgin Islands, and they do a great deal of good work here in the community. Another one is called SCORE. It is available to Virgin Islands as well. The SCORE chapter here in the Virgin Islands recently merged with the SCORE chapter out of Florida, which I think was a fantastic move because they have a lot more mentors in Florida covering a wide variety of industries and expertise and backgrounds. You can meet with them online, virtually. The SCORE chapter is a little bit different from the SBDC. These are not paid individuals, they are volunteers, but they are still highly vetted and qualified to provide excellent assistance. If you go to the score.org website, you'll find plenty of outstanding templates and tools and recorded workshops, templates for business plan development or financial statements. And then if you request a mentor, you just simply do that online, request a mentor, ask or answer some basic information about your business. They will then make an attempt to pair you up with someone who understands either your community or your industry a little bit more. And then we'll set a one-on-one online mentoring session. And they can be done at any time, really. We don't, whereas the SBDC typically works between 5 and they're full-time employees. SCORE counselors are volunteers. So really, whenever you and the SCORE mentor decide is a good time to meet, that could be in the evening, it can be on a weekend, it can be whatever works for all of you. But they're a great mentorship coaching organization. You can use both. It's not an either or. We have plenty of businesses out there that get some technical support from the SBDC, but also have an outstanding coach or mentor that they use at SCORE. And both of these entities keep your information confidential. They are bound by a confidentiality agreement, similar to that between you and an attorney. They don't send your information to anyone else. They're just there to help you privately be successful as best they can. So another one that is available, we have 2 others that are more active across the country. One is the Women's Business Center. This is an example of one from Maryland, that logo. Women's business centers are all across the country. We do not have one currently here in the Virgin Islands. We do have them in Puerto Rico. We do have them around the country. You can provide information, or you can receive information on a Women's Business Center by going online. They have an association of women's business development centers, and you can get more information that way, and you can get information there. So the Veteran Business Opportunity Center is what we call a VBOC. They exist to provide assistance to veteran-owned businesses. They're not physically located here in Virgin Islands, but they are located out of New York. They serve Region 2, which covers New York, New Jersey, and hold on just one second. Okay, sorry about that. That's one of the drawbacks of being an office of one. So Veterans Business Opportunity Center, they are located in New York, New Jersey, but they serve the Virgin Islands. So they have regular events throughout the year. They have what's called a Boots to Business and a Boots to Business reboot session. They will offer that online, or they will offer it in person when we're not having COVID. They serve all veterans, but they also serve veterans and their spouses, National Guard members, reservists, and any family member of a veteran. So if you are a veteran-owned business and you'd like to get tools and counseling and support and resources that are dedicated towards veteran-owned businesses, you can contact the VBOC at that website. They are happy to assist you. They provide many of the same services that the SBDC does. However, they are very focused on veterans resources and are very knowledgeable on extra things out there that might be available. Again, none of these are an either or. You can use every single one of those technical support providers and strongly suggest that you do. So another area outside of technical support that we provide, or at least facilitate at SBA, you get established. So typically as a business is 2, 3, 4 years older, they will be possibly able to serve federal contracts. If you only have one customer for your business, it should be the federal government. It is the largest customer in the world. It spends more money than any other entity out there in the world, any other country, any other business. The federal government is the largest purchaser of services and goods. They are required by law to provide some contracting opportunities to small businesses. Government-wide, there's a 23% goal that federal agencies have to supply their contracts to small businesses. They're broken down in a number of different ways. Of course, any small business counts towards that goal, but they also further break it down to smaller businesses, such as one called AA Business Development Program, historically underutilized business zones, women-owned small businesses, and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. Within those categories, agencies will also set their own goals to comply with those. Typically, federal-wide, it's 5% of contracting dollars should go to disadvantaged small businesses, which are identified by 8A. 5% should go to women-owned small businesses. 3% go to hub zone firms, and 3% go to service-disabled veteran-owned firms. Now, different agencies may have different goals on the inside, but those are the minimum federal government-wide. You can get a lot more information on how to do business with the federal government and to get these important certifications. Go to certify.sba.gov. So another big area that we help out at SBA is helping people access capital. That is really the number one concern for small businesses as they try to start or grow, is accessing capital. It's the number one need that small business owners say they have. So we have a number of programs to try and help with that. The one that is the most common that most people are aware of is what we call SBA loans. SBA loans are not direct loans from SBA. I'll talk about direct loans from SBA in a minute, but in a general sense, for most businesses, SBA loans are not direct loans. They are loans from lenders. What we do at SBA is we leverage the good credit rating of the federal government to guarantee or back loans for local lenders to reduce their risk. We do not take all the risk of a loan, and we cannot make a bad loan a good loan for a lender, but we help in that middle ground where a lender may have a little bit of hesitation about a loan, everything else looks great, but perhaps it's a startup, and most lenders simply do not fund startups because there is no track record of financial performance for them to use and underwrite the loan. So they will just say, I'm not going to do a startup. But some lenders will say, I'll take the risk on a startup, assuming they have good cash, they have good collateral, they have good credit rating, and all these other things. We'll take that risk as long as we get SBA's guarantee. And so lenders can use that guarantee in a number of different ways. We just offer that guarantee to lenders. We'll guarantee anywhere from 50%, and in some cases right now we're guaranteeing up to 100%, but usually it's up to 90% of a loan for a lender to help a business. They can be used for a bunch of different purposes. You can use it to launch your business, start it, to purchase equipment, to purchase inventory, to renovate, to purchase land, all sorts of things a SBA-backed loan can be used for. It can have a maximum size of $5 million, and it can be as small as $500, really. But most lenders will, if it's a very small loan, they typically will not go through the paperwork of securing a loan or a guarantee from SBA. They will just go ahead and do the loan if it makes sense. But we provide that to lenders. You access that by contacting your lender. Before you contact a lender, though, we highly encourage you to, again, go back to the beginning with our technical support providers and make sure you are prepared to approach a lender. Most oftentimes, people will walk into a lender and not have asked for a commercial loan before, or will be ill-prepared to provide the financial documents and information that a lender needs to get to a yes on the loan. So they will need things such as your business plan, your expense sheets, your financial statements, your financial projections. These are often things that aren't necessarily intuitive. And so we highly encourage you to make use of the technical support providers like the SBDC here in the territory to help you with that process. They cannot get the loan for you, but they can sit down with you and look at your financial statements, help you package that information together, and help introduce you to lenders who possibly could fund your deal. And they can just kind of help you every step along the way. The local SBDC has been very successful in obtaining funding for Virgin Island businesses. Highly encourage you, if you are seeking a loan, to work with one of the local lenders. All of the 5 big banks here in the territory, Popular, First Bank, Oriental, Bank of St. Croix, and Merchants Bank, are all SBA lenders. However, you can use lenders from anywhere. So there are some business owners here or individuals who have existing banking relationships with lenders back in the States, and you are more than welcome to use those. In fact, you should just use any lender who will be able to get the loan done for you. So there are many lenders in the States who are also willing to provide loans to Virgin Island businesses. One way of connecting with those is through a program that we have on our website called Lender Match. If you go to sba.gov/Lender Match, you can just fill out some very basic information about your need for the loan and about your business and hit submit. That information will immediately be sent to all lenders within our system who have expressed interest in looking at loans in the Virgin Islands. Now, I highly encourage you, if you do use that, to make sure you complete every field and be aware that lenders look at this information to see if they are interested at all in speaking with you. So a lot of lenders will just put in their filters and say, I'm interested in looking at the Virgin Islands, but if they're a startup, I'm not going to see those. Or if they are looking for, or if they don't have any revenues or they don't have any collateral or something like that, then they're just going to filter those out and not look at it. And certainly if there are blank fields, then they just won't even respond. But if you fill it out completely and you meet the needs or you meet the profile that a lender is looking for from that system, they will respond to you and ask for more information and begin that lending process. We're not in that process. This tool is simply a matchmaking tool to help borrowers connect with prospective lenders out there. As I said before, our guarantee, while it does reduce risk for lenders, it does not take all the risk. A deal does have to be bankable in a sense to even have a chance at getting a loan. And it still must comply with the 5 C's. You can learn more about the 5 C's online. There's a lot of information about them, but just a quick overview. They're going to be looking at the cash flow of the business. So that's why I say oftentimes lenders are not interested in lending to startups, because there's no historical cash flow to go by. And they want to make sure that you are able to pay back the loan. They don't want to provide a loan that is going to sink someone or that someone's not going to be able to pay back. So they want to look at that cash flow. They're going to look at your character, and that character is determined by a lot of different things, not only your credit score, because it shows whether you have a history of paying back your debts, but also every interaction that you have with a lender. If you say you're going to provide information and you don't, or you are a no-show on a meeting with a lender, or your reputation in the community is bad, they're going to look at all those things during the process. They're also going to look at your collateral. They are going to want to secure their loan with some sort of asset, typically land or a building. In some instances, they'll secure it with equipment or vehicles. They typically shy away from specialized equipment or inventory. A banker is not in the business of selling equipment or being in business or your business They're just in the business of making money. So tangible assets such as land and buildings are easily sellable if they had to, if the loan went bad, but other things are less so. Don't look at your capitalizations. We're going to look at basically your balance sheets, how much assets do you have on hand, how much cash did you put into this deal. They are going to want to see that a business owner is putting in cash of their own. Lenders are not very interested in fully funding a business by themselves. If they are funding you and your business, they're going to want to see that you are taking that risk as well and putting in some cash, and that you have some good financial statements. And then finally, you're going to look at conditions. They're going to look at the market. They're going to look at your business plan. They're going to consider whether you're making reasonable assumptions in your business plan about the market and the viability of your idea. But these are all things that you're going to have to look at and be prepared to answer when you walk into a lender. And again, the SBDC and SCORE, they can help you be prepared before you speak to a lender. Now, lending is not the only way we help people access capital. Of course, we have the SBA-backed loans, but we also have programs for private investors to make investments in businesses. Those are typically called SBICs, small business investment companies. Those are typically good options for businesses that have the ability to scale exponentially. SBICs and investors are typically not interested in investing in run-of-the-mill businesses that don't have the opportunity to provide them a lot of money. So if you are landscaping or taxi cab owner or a restaurant or something like that, those are not the things that an investment company is going to invest in. However, if you have a special technology, or if you are a niche business in an industry that is expected to grow exponentially pretty soon, they may be interested in investing in that area. And you can find more information on our website, SBA.gov funding programs. We also help connect large federal agencies who provide grants to emerging technologies and emerging businesses. So there are a lot of research and development grants that are available out there for businesses to take advantage of. You can get more information on those at sbir.gov. Those are typically, however, for businesses that are developing an emerging technology or addressing a specific need for a federal agency. For instance, if you have some sort of agriculture related development to yield higher growth crops, Department of Agriculture may be interested in that, or Department of Energy may be interested in something that reduces the need for conventional power entities. If there's something that's an efficient energy producer out there, they may want to invest in that or provide grant funds to grow that business. And then finally, there are surety bonds, which are bonds many construction business owners use to sort of like insurance, to assure the customer that if they start a project, they will be able to finish it. And so a bond is sort of like an insurance policy to help ensure that the project can continue or provide some compensation to a customer should they invest a whole bunch of money in a construction firm, for instance, to build a building, and then the construction firm goes belly up for some reason halfway through. That bond helps insure that customer. So there are other services as well that we offer. We do offer programs to help businesses who are interested in exporting. Over 95% of the world's customers live outside the United States. 2/3 of the world's purchasing power is in foreign countries. If you are a business that is growing, one of the best ways to grow is to make it beyond this market. Make it not only beyond one of the islands, but to all the islands, and then maybe the Caribbean, and then maybe the United States as a whole, but then also throughout the country and down island and maybe overseas. If you have the type of business that can expand that way, we want to help. We want to see you grow. So we have a lot of tools and resources to help you with that. You can learn more about them through sba.gov/exporting. And then finally, one of the areas that unfortunately most of us here in Virgin Islands are very aware of is our programs to help in times of a disaster. So it is estimated that 25% of businesses do not open after a major disaster. So we provide a number of tools to help not only reopen after disaster, but also be prepared before disaster comes. If you visit our website, sba.gov/prepare, you can get a lot of information on how to prepare your business for a multitude of different types of disasters, different types of business plans that are available. And then we offer multiple resources for business owners who are trying to recover after disaster. The primary of which is our loans. We offer a variety of different types of loans to help with real estate, personal property, economic injury, to repurchase equipment, machinery, and inventory. Also active duty military. So if a large group of active duty military have been deployed and that impacted a business owner, we can help with short-term loans for that as well. So as many of you are aware, if you've been here for a while after Maria and Irma, we provided a large number of loans to help not only homeowners rebuild their homes, but also also business owners get back on their feet after disaster. These loans are intended to help the impacts of a disaster. They're not to help businesses purchase new equipment or expand to new locations or new property. They're really just to help out in times of disaster, but we provide a significant amount. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about PPP and EIDL that we have right now coming on pretty soon. So our disaster loans are the primary source of federal assistance to help with private property owners and disasters not covered by insurance. They are low interest federal loans, but they're also available not only to business owners, but also nonprofits, homeowners, and renters. And this is the only instance where SBA will lend directly to business owners. So to give you sort of a snapshot of our two big programs that have been happening here since this latest disaster declaration, which is nationwide for COVID-19, there are what we call economic injury disaster loans, which are available for COVID-19. There's a specific one called COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan, also called EIDL, that is available right now to every business owner in the Virgin Islands. You can go to our website at sba.gov, go to COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and you can apply right online. It's a very short application process, takes less than 20 minutes. You may have to provide some additional information. But if you approve, these are fantastic loans. They are loans that can provide up to 6 months of working capital, up to a high of $150,000. You have to have been in business prior to February 1st. This is not to help you start a new business during a pandemic. This is to help businesses who are already established get through a very difficult time. The payments on those, if you're approved, are deferred at least a year. So they have been deferred a year for everyone who took out a loan prior to or during 2020. If you took out an economic injury disaster loan, you may remember that the information you were given is that was deferred for a year. A recent development just in the past week extends that even further thanks to new legislation that was passed. So if you received an economic injury disaster loan, you now have a 2-year deferral. From the time you receive the loan, you can count 24 months out, and that is not, you don't have to make any payments on that loan until that time. If you receive a loan this year, during 2021, you have an 18-month deferral. So, and that is from the time that you receive the funds in your account. From that date, you can count out 18 months and not make any payments. Now, you can make payments earlier if you wish. You can pay off the entire loan if you wish, and there's no penalty. But if you want to keep the loan and pay that over time, you can elect to not make any payments during your deferral period. If you do keep the loan, you have 30 years to repay that loan. Interest rate is 3.75% for business owners, 2.75% for nonprofit leaders. If the loan is under $25,000, no collateral is needed. If it's over 25, you must pledge some collateral. You can have existing disaster loans. So if you already have a disaster loan under Maria, you can have another disaster loan with this one as well, but you cannot consolidate the loans. You cannot use one loan to pay off another. In fact, you cannot use these economic injury disaster loans to pay off any loan that's already existing and to consolidate debt at lower interest rates or expand your business. They are strictly for disaster purposes. But again, there are no prepayment penalties or fees. I highly encourage people that if you think you might need a loan but are hesitant to take on the debt, to go ahead and apply, get your approval. If you get that approval, you can put those funds in a separate bank account. Just do not touch them, just have them separate. And it's there for you if you need it. And so if maybe 6 months from now, 9 months, a year, longer, you decide you don't want the money and you don't want to carry that debt, you can just give all that money back to SBA and there's no penalty for doing so. The only charge to you would be the very small amount of interest that is accrued. And most business owners find that to be a worthy expenditure, that tiny amount of interest, to have that option of accessing those funds should they need it, is something that most business owners prefer to have. To give you an idea of the number of loans that we've had here in the Virgin Islands, as of October, looks like I used the wrong date. So it's not October 18th. It's as of February 16th is what that should be. Up at the top, it says nationwide numbers as of February 16th. These numbers for USVI and the Virgin Islands are also as of February 16th, not October 20th, not October 18th. But in the Virgin Islands, up to that point, we've had 1,783 loans approved for a little over $96 million. That's here in the Virgin Islands. In Puerto Rico, we also serve that area as well. It's larger, almost 25,000 economic injury disaster loans approved for a little over $1.3 billion. That is a significant amount of funds injected into the economy to help during COVID-19. Nationwide, those numbers were pretty big, over $200 billion across the country, and over 3.7 million loans that were economic injury disaster loans all across the country. Another important program that we have currently going right now, but will end at some point soon, is the Paycheck Protection Program. This is another loan that is given to business owners and nonprofits, but that does not come directly from SBA as the economic injury disaster loan does. It comes from lenders, and so this operates much like our regular lending programs. You go to your lender, you tell them you would like to apply for a Paycheck Protection Program. You will need to provide them some basic information about your business, your payroll expenses, and then they will put that in a formula depending on the kind of business you are, and provide you an approval. Certainly, of course, if you meet all the requirements for that loan. And then once they get that approval, that loan and those funds will come from your lender. We will provide the guarantee to that lender, but then that lender will put those funds in your bank account. And you can use that to cover payroll expenses. Payroll expenses can be for bigger businesses that have multiple employees. You just need to show what your payroll expenses have been so you can get that calculation. And then when you receive that loan, you will have to show that you are paying those employees. Once you pay those employees, we have what we call a covered period, which goes as long as 24 weeks. You have 24 weeks to spend the funds that you are approved for on payroll. If you do, you can just go back to your lender and say, I've expended those funds on payroll. Here's my evidence to prove that I have done so. They will then request a forgiveness from SBA, and we will provide full forgiveness. So for instance, if you had employees and you were approved for a loan of $10,000, and over the next 24 weeks, you were able to show that you spent that $10,000 on your employees, then you can go back to your bank and you can have that completely forgiven. If you don't get that forgiven, or you didn't spend the funds, you spent the funds on other things, then that just turns into a loan that is due back to your lender. But most people, I highly encourage you, if you were approved for a loan, then you should have the opportunity to receive forgiveness. You just need to make sure you follow the rules of the program. This is essentially a grant. We're just not calling it a grant because it is a loan. Grant is just technically is different, but it is a forgivable loan. Highly encourage you to take advantage of it. The deadline for that is right now at March 31st. There is some legislation in US Congress to extend that deadline, but that has not been passed. And we are only working with our March 31st deadline. So even if that extension does come down the pipe, I highly encourage you not to delay. If you have not taken advantage of the PPP program, whether you're a sole proprietor, independent contractor, or a business owner with multiple employees, you should contact your lender and seek out that program that provides just essentially free money. If you receive it and spend it the right way, it would be foolish to pass up this opportunity, because this will not be around for much longer. As the coronavirus pandemic abates and people get their vaccines, we expect the need for this type of federal support to go away, and this program will go away. So highly encourage you to take advantage of it. A lot of people have so far. As of March 7th, we've had over 2,400 PPP loans approved for Virgin Island businesses, representing 126. Looks like I have got some extra figures in there, but it is $126 million, a little bit over that. It looks like I have a small typo there. But that's here in the Virgin Islands. That represents $126 million that can be forgiven. And that is essentially just free money going into the economy to help get through the pandemic. There's also a significant amount, a little over $2 billion if they're in Puerto Rico, that they've been able to take advantage of as well. So finally, I've covered just a big overview of a lot of our different programs, but you do not have to wait for one of these presentations to get information on what SBA does. You can visit our website, sba.gov/PR. You can also follow us on Twitter, SBA_Puerto Rico.
Okay, it looks like Wayne has frozen and he will be back momentarily. I will pull up his presentation so that it'll be on the correct page when he returns. Well, actually, while we're waiting for him to return, I will show the video of the SBDC. So sit tight and listen up.
Has your business been affected by COVID-19? The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is available to assist entrepreneurs and small businesses in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The VISBDC is sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration and collaborates with local agencies to support the small business community. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and provides free consulting, business education training, and technical assistance. Attend workshops with subject matter experts from both the public and private sector. From idea generation to exit strategies, the staff at the VISBDC is ready to assist you. Now is the time to contact them if you need assistance with the Federal Paycheck Protection Program. So don't wait. Call or email them to find out how they can help your business grow and succeed.
Okay, Wayne.
And Mary Jo, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
And you can go back to sharing.
All right. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I got muted. I didn't even know. So I don't know where I left off, but at the end, I was just providing information on contact information for me. If Mary Jo, if you want to pull that up, just the last slide or two, and you can provide my contact information. But we're at 10:43, and this is slated to go to 11. So I'm happy to answer any questions that people may have at this time regarding SBA or any of our programs, PPP and EIDL, or anything I covered today.
Okay, which slide do you guys see?
I don't see any slide right now. I can share my screen. It looks like
Okay.
possibly. Let me do that.
Okay.
Can you, I don't know if you can see my screen now.
Can you put it in slideshow mode?
Let me try that. I mean, can you see my screen at all?
No, I don't see your screen.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm trying again. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, the last slide was just my contact information. So there we go. I don't know where we left off, so I'm just going to leave my contact information there for people to have, and then answer any questions that people might have at this time.
Okay, you have a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you and let you ask it on air. Any questions? Well, while we're doing this, Wayne, is there any cost for the assistance that they get from SBDC or SBA for COVID-19?
No, I mean, there are, depends. I mean, for technical support, there is no cost for technical support. Now, of course, if you're getting a loan, there are interest rates and things like that. But for technical support from SBA and SBDC and SCORE, there is no cost.
And next week you're doing another presentation?
Yeah, next week's presentation, and I think the next two in a row, we're going to be focusing heavily on PPP and economic injury disaster loan. As I mentioned before, that deadline for PPP is coming up March 31st. You know, it might be extended, but we're not planning for that. So we can't control what Congress does. We can only go with the information we have. So the next two will be PPP and EIDL.
And people have to apply directly to the lender to receive this loan? And most of
Correct.
And all of the lenders have a web portal to do that. And the lenders
should.
Okay. And if they're applying for this loan, they should not wait until the 31st, because most of the lenders will stop accepting applications a couple of days before that, so they can have time to process the loans. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And our 5 big lenders are First Bank, Popular, Bank of St. Croix, Merchants Commercial, and Oriental Bank.
Correct.
Banks that are participating in the second draw PPP.
Yes, all of them are.
Okay, and somebody asked, do you guys or can you reference some resources to review business plans? The SBDC staff can assist you with that. You can register on our webpage at visbdc.org, and one of our counselors will be assigned to you to help you with your business plan. We will not write it for you, but we will assist you with making sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and all the pertinent information relative to your business is in there. And our phone number, 693-1694 for St. Thomas. And our phone number for St. Croix is 340-692-4294. And I just put that in the chat. Okay. Anything in particular they should know about, Wayne, that we haven't discussed already?
Not that I can think of. You know, if there are any questions, we'll be happy to answer. But I just kind of gave a general overview of what SBA provides. Highly encourage you to take advantage of the Small Business Development Center if you are interested in help for technical support.
Okay, well, now we have a couple more webinars this week. Tomorrow we have Mark Wilson from the Wilson Company, and he's doing the webinar on, what's it called? It's Disaster Recovery and Resiliency. It's a part of the Disaster Recovery and Resiliency series. It's e-commerce from brick and mortar to click and mortar during COVID-19. And then on Thursday, we have 2 webinars. At noon, we have the Lunch and Learn Government Contracting Series, and it's going to be contracting with the federal government at 12 noon. And then at 3 p.m., we have the 3rd session of our basic bookkeeping webinar series. And the presenter is Ms. Carmen Acevedo Adams, And that webinar is going to cover understanding the balance sheet and other financial statements. You can register on our Facebook page for all of those or on our webpage. There's another question. Do y'all have information on how to legally protect business ideas like trademarking or patenting an item while a business is opening? Our counselors.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Wayne.
No, go right ahead.
No, our counselors can assist you with that information, but you might have something more specific to say, Wayne.
No, I was going to say SBDC, they should be able to help with that information. There are tools online. We have what's called an SBA Learning Center on our website that provides information on that topic, on trademarking and what that process is and patenting. But SBDC is also familiar with that topic and understands how to advise you on that and give you more information on that as well. And then the previous question, Erica was asking for information on business plans or financial statements. Sounds like the SBDC is going to have a good presentation coming up later this week on financial statements and documents. But there are also a lot of really good templates that you can get for free at score.org. They have a lot of really good sample business plans and balance sheets and all sorts of stuff that you can just download for free from them. A lot of good resources, but certainly recommend you visit SBDC's webinar later this week or just make an appointment with a counselor to go over those statements.
Okay. Now we have a couple more minutes left, so if there are any more questions that you would like to address to Wayne, he's a captive audience. Okay, well, I think that's about all we have for this week, Wayne. We'll let you have an early escape. And on behalf of the Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, our State Director, Mr. Ted Gutierrez, and the fabulous staff that we have on St. Croix and St. Thomas, we want to thank you all for joining us in the audience. And we look forward to seeing you next week with Wayne when he's presenting the updates of the PPP and the EIDL program. And hopefully tomorrow with disaster recovery and resiliency, and Thursday on government contracting and basic bookkeeping. Thank you very much and do have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mary Jo.